Sure, we'll be glad when that new house of ours is finished.
Well, when's that going to be, Marshall?
Oh, a couple of weeks. They gotta finish it, and then they gotta furnish it.
I'll make some coffee.
Thanks.
Don't go to too much trouble now.
No trouble.
It was really beautiful, Justin.
Oh, glad you liked it.
I mean, I know you said it was going to be big, but I never imagined that it would be that big.
Well, there's plenty of room for everyone. I hope, Allison, that you'll think about moving out there with us.
Yeah, Allison, you got to come over and live with us.
All right, you two. Don't pressure us.
I tell you, till I saw all of you today in the new house, it just wasn't real to me. But walking through those rooms, those big rooms with my family, made it all come to life.
Were there any surprises in it for you?
Well, no, I knew what the architect was going to do. I kept my eye on him the whole time, but seeing it through your eyes, now that was something else. I tell you something, darling, we're going to have a great home here. And after what I saw today, we're all going to be real comfortable there. What do you think, Gregory?
Oh, I think it's going to be great, Marshall.
You do, huh?
Especially because it's going to look just like this place.
And you like this place?
Yeah. This is where you grew up, right?
I sure did.
Seems like when we got the new house that we're carrying on a family tradition.
I'm glad you think of it like that, partner. Because that's the way I think about it. What about you, Grandma?
Well, I think it's going to be nice.
You're not still upset about it looking like the Marshall Ranch, are you?
Well, if you're doing it for the reason you said you are, I'm not going to be upset.
I am, Grandma. I swear. You know what I just realized, Grandma?
What, Justin?
It's just like when Daddy was alive. Makes me feel real good.
So this is what it's like to be swept off your feet.
You like it?
I love it. I have only one regret.
What's that?
That we didn't do it sooner.
Well, I don't think we were exactly in the right place.
Rick, I want you to know that even in that cave, even at High Topa, I wanted you. I wanted you very much.
No talk.
Well, I know I'm gonna look like a dunce asking this, but could we just go through one more time what it is you're gonna do tomorrow?
Sure, Dunce.
Oh, great. Ruby's gonna go over to Southwest Imports tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell him I got the real statue from the cave and that I'm willing to sell it.
And hopefully we'll be able to draw out who's ever behind this whole thing.
You really think you're going to be able to find who was behind Gretchen?
Sure, with a little bit of luck.
There's nothing to worry about.
I don't know about that.
What do you mean?
We don't know anything about these people that we're dealing with here. And there's a good chance they know a whole lot about us. I just don't like the way this thing feels at all. We could be setting Ruby up to walk right into their trap.
Texas, the new generation. The first part of Texas is brought to you by the first powder detergent with a full-strength fabric softener built right in. Bold 3. Cleans, softens, controls static. Bold 3.
Justin, would you and Ashley and the children like to stay for supper?
Well, we don't want to put you in any trouble, Grandma.
No trouble, or I wouldn't have asked.
Well, if that's what you're saying, sure, sounds like a wonderful idea. What do you say, Ashley?
I think it'd be real nice. It's been a long time since this whole family's sat down to dinner together.
It's been a long time since we've all been around the Marshall dinner table. We'd be happy to accept your invitation, Grandma.
Good. Then I guess you wouldn't mind doing a little work for your supper.
I knew there was a catch to this. I knew it. All right. You name it, and I'll do it.
Well, I'd like you to check out the air conditioner in the study.
Air conditioner. Okay, you got it. Bye-bye.
Bye. What can I help you with?
Oh, well, I guess you can peel these potatoes.
Okay. Here, I'll get them.
There you go.
All right. What's this? You know what? You may not believe this, but I really have missed you.
Well, I hope you understand why I kept my distance from Justin.
Yes.
Well, it's hard for me to believe that my own grandson would do that to me.
Justin feels real bad about that. You know he does.
He should.
Allison, what do you think about the new mansion?
I think it's wonderful, Gregory.
Do you
I think you're going to be real happy there.
Do you like the new suite of rooms that Marshall put in for you?
Yeah, they're real nice.
Nice enough to make you want to come back and live with us?
Can't do that, Gregory.
Well, why not?
Because, you see, I'm still trying to make it on my own.
Well, you're not making it on your own now, are you?
Yes, I am.
Then why are you living at the Bellmans?
Gregory, I'm just staying there until I can afford a place of my own.
But didn't you see how happy we were when we were all together? Like a family? Don't you want us to be a family?
All right, Gregory, I'll think about it.
Ashley, did you hear that?
What,
She
sweet?
said that she might come and live with us.
She did? Well, that's wonderful. You know that I would love for Allison to come live with us.
Hey, you know, I just said that I'd think about it. I didn't say that I'd do it.
Well, okay. It's a start, isn't it? This is a decision that Allison will have to think through very, very carefully. You understand, don't you?
Yeah, I guess so. But I hope she does decide to come in and live with us.
You're impossible sometimes, you know that?
Champagne, and not a moment too soon. My good man, pour everyone around, all right?
TJ, it seems to me that you and Miss Marshall have already had quite enough champagne already.
Oh, nonsense, Mother. You never have too much good champagne. I would like to propose a toast to Paige, the most beautiful woman in the world, and the only woman who makes me happy. May my parents fall in love with you the same way I did. Well, Mother, aren't you going to toast Paige?
Oh, TJ, dear,
Mother, I would really like you to toast Paige.
TJ.
Go ahead, Mildred.
That wasn't so hard, was it?
TJ, is this the way you and Miss Marshall plan to spend your time, drinking yourselves into oblivion?
Well, we are far from that, Mother, but that's a good idea. After all, Paige and I have little else to do with our lives than to live them in reckless debauchery.
TJ.
Mother, we have a drink to be sociable, to have fun. I have never wound up under a table, and neither has Paige. Paige has responsibilities to her business, and so do I. There's not a lot of time for play.
Well, you certainly seem to be making up for it tonight.
Well, it's a special occasion.
Mildred, will you just relax and try and have yourself a good time?
Well, Burton, you certainly don't approve of this sort of thing.
There's nothing to disapprove or approve. There's nothing wrong in having a good time once in a while.
There, you see? Now, come on, Mom. Come on, loosen up. Have a good time. Well, you can try, can't you?
A tramp? What kind of tramp?
I don't know exactly. It's just that I've been doing a lot of thinking about this, and I think there's some questions that we just haven't answered yet.
Like what?
Like, why was that statue in the cave in the first place?
I got that answer.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Brett did some research, and that the Indians from that area, from Mexico, probably traveled up into the High Topa region. They just brought the statue with them and probably left it in the cave, that's all.
Maybe. But what about the photograph?
What about it?
Why would the photograph be in Bailey's room?
That's what we're trying to figure out right now. Somehow it has to tie him and the import shop with who's ever behind Gretchen.
Look, I don't want to interrupt or anything, but what was this you were saying about a trap? I mean, I gotta know. I'm the one who's gonna walk in the
I
place.
said there might be a trap. Now, I don't know that for sure. But, I mean, this thing that you're going to do tomorrow looks pretty easy. But I think there's things we haven't considered here.
Like what?
Like these people behind this plot know who all of us are.
Not necessarily. That's why we chose Ruby. She didn't go to that shop with us, so how can they recognize her?
I don't agree.
Why?
Because Ruby and Lurleen have been mixed up in this thing from the very beginning. And I bet you anything they know who Ruby is.
Well, maybe Ruby could disguise herself. I mean, it worked with me with Gretchen.
I think that's too chancy.
Joe, what are you getting at?
What I'm getting at is that we can't afford to underestimate these people. We have to come up with something that is going to outfox them for sure and not put Ruby in a situation where she could be hurt.
Hurt? Well, how could I get hurt?
Ruby, this whole thing could be a setup.
What do you mean?
I mean, we could be planning to do exactly what they want us to do.
But how could you know that?
I don't know exactly what it is that they want. If I knew that, maybe I could put it together. But I don't know whether they want the artifacts or whether they just want the fire compass or
what?
Or they may be setting us up to wipe all of us out.
You mean kill us?
Yeah, that's right, Lurleen.
But why?
Maybe they think we know too much. And who is there to stop them?
You know, Joe might be right. Maybe we should think this thing through again.
Yeah. I need some time to work through some of the stuff I got in my head.
Okay, you got it. But look, we can't take too long. We've got to move on this thing fast.
Yeah, but Mark, with the potential for danger like it is here, I'm not going to rush this.
Grandma, air conditioning's all fixed. But I'm going to send you out a new one anyway.
Don't you dare. There are a lot of good years left in that old box.
Okay.
All right, Ashley and Allison setting the dining room table.
Oh, they're working at it. Gregory gave me a hand. He's really pretty darn good at it.
He's a smart boy.
Yeah, sure is. You should have seen him when we were planning the new racing car for Ace High. He got all these books. He was reading them. I swear, he's getting to know more about them than I do.
You love him very much, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Justin, I want you to know that the only reason I'm doing this tonight is for Gregory. That boy desperately needs to know he has a family.
That's what Ashley and I are going to give him, Grandma, a real family.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope you'll always feel that way.
Of course I will, Grandma. Why shouldn't I?
You and Ashley are planning to have a child of your own, aren't you?
Of course we are. We are going to have a son of our own.
Well, what happens when you have that son?
I don't understand what you're getting at, Grandma.
What happens to Gregory when you have that son? Are you going to ignore him? Are you going to be able to show him as much love as you do now?
Gregory will always have my love.
I hope you mean that, Justin.
Sure I do, Grandma. Maybe Gregory isn't my real son. But I certainly feel like he's my own natural son. And I love him like he is. Nothing on this earth is going to change that.
Well, it better not. Or you'll have to answer to me.
You ever going to forgive me for what's happened between us, Grandma?
I'm not sure I can, Justin.
I hope you'll try. For Gregory's sake. It'll mean a lot to him. And to me.
Come on, Rena, what's on your mind?
Judith came by my office earlier today.
What for?
I don't know.
Well, what'd she say?
Same thing she told you. She's moving out of the house. She wants to stay in Houston because of Brett and Mark. She realizes that there's nothing between you two anymore, and she won't stand in the way of our relationship.
Does that bother you?
Yes.
Why?
I didn't believe a word she said. Oh, she said all the right things, Grant.
What?
It just doesn't ring true. I mean, I told you that earlier. I don't understand the coincidence of this sudden turnabout. There's something more behind it. She's up to something.
No, I don't think so. I think she's trying to play it straight.
Do you believe her?
I've known her a long time. I know her pretty well. She doesn't like to lose. I think what she's trying to do is back out graciously, so it doesn't appear that she has lost.
I think she's trying to destroy everything we have together. I can't explain it, but it's what I feel.
Darling, she's not going to do anything. What can she do? Doesn't make any difference. She can't come between us. Now, how can I convince you of that?
Just hold me. Hold me real tight.
Are you always this complimentary to singers?
Only to ones that I know.
How many do you know?
You're the only one I know.
Aha! You're very funny.
Yeah, well, my sister seems to think so, but I don't think she means it as a compliment. Look, let me buy you a drink. Thank you for singing that song.
Oh, thank you, but I'm not drinking tonight, and I have to make a phone call, so maybe,
Some of the...
on second thought, maybe I will join you.
Well, why don't you want to make that phone call?
No, it's not really important. Why don't we sit down? Thank you. Hello, Ruby.
What's going on here?
Going on, Ruby?
I asked Elaine to join me for a drink.
Why?
Because she sang a song for me.
She did.
Is there something wrong with that, Ruby?
That depends.
On what?
Elena, don't you have something better to do than just sitting around?
No, not really. Actually, I don't have another set for a little while.
Find something better to do now.
Why should I?
Don't you remember our little chat?
No. What little chat was that?
You remember.
Maybe you could refresh my memory a little bit. Tell me about it again.
I don't like what you're doing, Elena.
And I don't like you bossing me around, Ruby.
Better start listening to what I tell you, or you're not going to be working at the coop much longer.
Ruby, why don't you lighten up? Why are you making such a big deal out of it?
Mark, it's really okay. Maybe I'll go make that phone call and we can do this some other time.
Sure.
Well, why don't we sit down? Finally got a couple of minutes alone together.
Ruby, what's the matter with you? What was that all about?
But I will never forget our very first weekend together.
Weekend?
You had to bring up the infamous weekend.
Why? What was wrong with it, Eddie? I thought it was wonderful.
Oh, sure it was. Running out of gas in the middle of nowhere on this lonely road, having to spend the night in the car, all those trips back and forth to the car to get our things and get gas. Yeah, it was wonderful.
I enjoyed every minute of it.
Well, I think you're just being kind.
Sounds more than just kind after all that to me, son.
TJ, I certainly do not approve of that kind of behavior.
What kind of behavior is that, Mother?
Well, spending a weekend alone together. You shouldn't allow yourself to be put in some sort of a compromising position.
A compromising position?
Well, you probably had tongues wagging all over Houston with that weekend of yours.
Oh, I doubt that, Mother. This is the 80s after all. We didn't do anything scandalous.
Besides, Mrs. Canfield, I'm sure most people have better things to do than just sit around and gossip.
Now, Burton, what are you laughing about now?
Come on, Dan. What's so funny?
Oh, just remembered something.
What is it?
Well, your story about your trip to that cabin reminded me of something that happened to me and Mildred back when we were in college.
Now, Burton, don't you dare tell that story.
Come on, Dad. Tell that story.
Now, don't get excited, Mildred. Actually, it was kind of amusing.
Well, what happened?
Well,
Your mother and I went to a fraternity dance, and about halfway through, we decided we'd spend a little time to ourselves. So we snuck off up to the attic of the fraternity house. Well, one of my fraternity brothers saw us leaving the dance, and he followed us. And he was kind of a practical joker. So he locked the door on us so we couldn't get out. Well, we banged on that door for hours. Nobody let us out. Spent the entire night up there.
That was not the same sort of thing at all.
Oh, Mother, it wasn't all that different.
TJ, it's getting late. I better be getting home. I have a lot planned for tomorrow.
Matter of fact, TJ, you look as though you could use some sleep yourself.
Well, I had a great time. I hope everyone enjoyed themselves.
Wonderful time. It's been too long since we spent a social evening together, son.
Thanks, Dad. We'll do it again sometime. And I hope you had a good time, Mother.
It was nice, TJ. It was pleasant seeing you again, Miss Marshall.
Same here, Mrs. Canfield.
Burton, I think it's time for us to go.
Yes, dear. Nice talking to you.
Thank you, Mr. Canfield. Good night.
How about you? Did you have a good time?
It was wonderful.
You ready to call it a night?
I sure am.
Well, let's go.
You know something? I don't know why we waited so long for this.
Neither do I.
I love you, Brett. I've never known anyone like you in my life.
I'm so glad. Wouldn't want to think there was a list of people.
Come on. You know that's not what I meant.
You are so square and so sweet and so wonderful. And I love you so much.
Stay tuned for the next part of Texas.
You feeling better?
A little.
Okay, now I don't want to talk about Judith or even think about her for the rest of the night. I got other things to think about.
Like what?
Us.
What about us?
Well, we got a lot of planning to do.
What kind of planning?
Oh, well, we got to plan a whole life. I mean, for instance, our honeymoon. You thought about a place to go on a honeymoon?
Uh-huh.
Where?
Palm Springs. I want to go back there. I want to go back there with you in that very same house.
I'd like that.
It's a place for beginnings, don't you think? I want to go there with you as husband and wife.
Oh, I can't think of any place better. What about afterward, when we get back?
What do you mean?
Where do you want to live? Want to come to my house?
Sure. I love it there.
Good. That place needs a mistress.
So what are you talking about? Brett's there.
Oh, no. Brett doesn't care where she lives. She's not domestic.
Oh, well, now, wait a minute. All of that just might change.
What do you mean?
Well, surely you've noticed how close Ricky and Brett are.
Oh, sure. I mean, they just like each other, that's all. It may be a long time before any daughter of mine settles down.
Grant, I wouldn't be too sure about that if I were you.
Why, do you know something I don't know?
Maybe.
You gonna tell me?
No.
Oh.
Grant. Honey, don't be surprised if one of these days Brett comes to you and says she wants to get married.
My daughter, Mary? Why, it was only 6 months ago. She was a little girl with pigtails and skipping rope.
She's a grown woman now. She's very beautiful and happens to be in love. You're just going to have to accept that.
It would seem I have no choice.
No, you don't have a choice.
Well, how do you feel about being a mother-in-law?
If it comes with the territory.
I'm sorry, Mark. I don't know what got into me.
You acted like you really had it in for Elena.
No, it's not that. It's just...
Just what?
Elena and me have never gotten along.
Why?
Because she's ruined a lot of good things for me in the past, and I'm just afraid she's going to do it again. When I came out here and I saw her holding your arm and everything, I got jealous.
Maybe that's something that I should talk to you about.
What?
I like you a lot. I really do.
Crazy about you too, Mark.
Yeah, but there's something you need to know about me.
What's that?
That I don't appreciate jealousy in women. I mean, that really makes me feel pressured. That's not my kind of style.
Mark, I didn't mean to be jealous. It was Elena, really. I came out and I saw her hanging on you and everything, and I thought she was doing it to get to me. I'll never do it again. I never will. I won't be jealous anymore. Do you hate me for what I did?
Of course I don't hate you. I just want you to understand that I don't like you to feel possessive, because then I feel trapped. That makes sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Ruby, all I'm talking about is why don't we have some fun? We don't need to tie each other down.
All right, if that's the way you want it.
Okay, then where's that big smile, huh?
You mean you forgive me?
There's nothing to forgive.
I'm so glad. Because I'd just die if I did anything to make you mad at me.
I had a wonderful time tonight, darling.
In spite of my mother?
Mm-hmm, in spite of your mother.
Good.
You know, it's rather different this time than the first time we had dinner with them.
Well, I'd go along with that.
You know what? I loved your dad's story about being locked in the fraternity attic. Wasn't that great?
Yeah, I did too.
I was afraid your mom was going to kill him, though, when he started to tell it.
Well, my mother doesn't like to be embarrassed by anyone.
Uh-huh.
You know, my dad had never told me that story before.
Really?
We never talked about anything in his personal life. You know, I think I felt closer to my dad tonight than I have in a long time.
Oh, honey, I'm so glad.
He really likes you, Paige.
I'm afraid your mother doesn't share his opinion.
Oh, well, we'll change that.
Oh, yeah? How?
Well, I don't know, but we'll work on it.
Well, I wouldn't place any money on it. I don't think your mother's ever going to like me, TJ.
That bothers you, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I would like her to like me.
Well, you know, it doesn't make any difference at all what my mother thinks of you, Paige. It only matters what I think. And I love you.
I love you, too.
And I don't care who knows it.
You don't?
No. And I think that I just ought to tell Houston again just about how much I love you. Because it's been a long time since I've done this. And,
you know...
Hello, Houston. T.J. Canfield just happens to be in love with Miss Paige Marshall. Did you hear that? Now, T.J. Canfield is, in fact, in love with Paige Marshall.
You are a crazy fool. Will you kiss me?
Well, I thought you were never going to ask.
Just waiting hour after hour, not knowing if we'll ever see her again.
This week on The Doctors.
That was really nice, Mrs. Marshall.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, Allison.
No, it's been a long time since I ate with everybody. I really missed it.
Well, Allison, I think there's something you better pay a mind to that I don't think you're aware of.
What's that?
Ashley and Justin are very fond of you.
They are, aren't they?
Yeah. And don't you forget it. You know, a family is very important. Always will be.
I learned my lesson, too.
What's that, sweetheart?
I don't know. Being out here on the Marshall Ranch got me thinking. Made me realize how much I miss seeing my grandma. I just hope it's not too late to set everything straight. Get us back to being one big happy family.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. And you know what?
What?
We're gonna have little Gregory to thank for that. I think that he has managed to worm his way into Grandma Kate's heart just like he did into ours.
Yeah. Not hard to like that little guy, is he? Where is he anyway?
Oh, he went out to the stable. Yeah, stable. See the horses.
Great kid, isn't he?
He's the greatest.
Soon he's gonna be all ours, darling. All ours.
You want to take a walk?
I got a better idea.
What?
Why don't you show me around the coop? I mean, I'm going to be spending a lot of time here. So, why don't you just sort of give me the lay of the place, you know?
All right. Where do you want to start?
How about we start right here, and you just show me everything.
All righty. Okay. Now, table is to your right.
Right.
Where we were sitting. Okay. Now, directly in front of you, 12 o'clock, there's a wall. Okay?
Gotcha.
Right. Okay?
Okay.
Now, this is the board where we write all our specials out. And then...
It's not in Braille.
No. To your right, there's the door to the office.
Okay. Office door, specials board.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Now, turn around. Okay. Now, 12 o'clock again, directly in front of us is the bar.
All right.
Okay? There's the bar stool right there.
Got it.
Now, okay, we're going to go around to your right.
All right.
Okay, now, here, there's this little flip-top door thing that comes open, and there's an opening to the bar to your right. It's going to be right in front of you.
I got you. I got
Okay?
you. All right. Now, this may be where it gets a little tricky, though, darling, because,
Around the bar.
I could just knock over all your bottles and your glasses and all that kind of stuff.
That's the cash register.
It snarled at me.
I know. Well, be careful. I don't want you to hurt yourself.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
All right, so, what's this thing?
What's what?
Like a box?
Oh, Joel, that's the fuse box. Don't touch that or you're liable to put the whole place in the dark.
Well, now, that's not a bad idea. I mean, then we'd all have the same handicap.
Joel, come on. All right?
All right, what's next?
Come on. Now, right here is where we keep all the glasses. There's a tray right here.
All the breakables.
Yeah. And then...
Tonight brought back some really good memories of when I was a kid.
Like what?
Oh, like the time my dad took a bunch of Cub Scouts on a canoeing trip.
Your dad was a Cub Scout leader?
No, not really. He just volunteered because he'd had some experience in canoeing. We all had to get prepared for weeks. We had meetings on canoeing safety and paddling technique. It was something else. All to get prepared to take a trip down the river.
How'd it go?
Well, it started out real well.
Mm-hmm.
We all piled in the canoe, and all the kids' parents were up along the riverbank, cheering us on, giving us encouragement. Well, we must have looked like a sight shoving off there.
And then?
Well, we were fine till we went around the first bend in the river, and then we hit a tree stump.
Oh, no, teacher.
Lost everything. Thing tipped over. Everything went right in the drink.
Oh, no. Is anybody hurt?
No. Just our pride. I think the dad suffered most in that department. Now, as I recall, I even got my achievement badge on that trip because Dad would not admit to defeat. He made us all promise that we would never tell anyone what had happened. I guess he felt that it would reflect on his status as a leader or something. You know? Oh, boy. How about you? You have any fond memories of good times in your past?
Oh, yeah. Lots of them. Oh, we had some real good times growing up on Marshall Ranch. I remember when Justin got his very first pony. It's about, 9, 10. Oh, it's the prettiest little thing you've ever seen, TJ. Justin loved it so much, but there was one problem.
What kind of a problem?
This pony had a mind of its own. It must have been the orneriest cuss ever born. And Justin would hardly get on it, and it'd take off like bolt lightning, and Justin hanging on for dear life. Oh, Grandma Kate worried herself sick that he was going to get hurt. And so this one day, I was in the pasture, and here comes Justin on the pony. And I kept wondering how he was staying on, because I didn't think his little rump had touched the saddle. But then suddenly, the pony, without any warning, stopped dead in its tracks. But Justin didn't. He went flying over the top of this pony, right into a duck pond. I don't think I've ever seen him so angry. He looked like a mud pie coming out of that pond. Oh, golly. I haven't thought about that for years. TJ. I must be some storyteller.
Masterpiece.
Smells delicious.
Well, let's just hope it's as good as it smells.
Oh, my. Looks delicious, too.
Nothing special.
I really didn't know you could cook. Is there anything you can't do?
Oh, a few things.
Good. Wouldn't like to think you were absolutely perfect.
No, you don't like perfection?
No, not in men. It's more interesting if they have a few flaws.
Well, then I'm probably going to be about the most interesting man you've ever known.
And I'm going to have a lot of fun finding those flaws.
Well, they won't be too hard to find.
Well, at least you can cook, and that's going to be very important if we're going to continue having these little intimate dinners.
You mean you can't cook?
Ricky, you know my cooking. Hot dogs, omelets, popcorn.
Well, then, we're in a little trouble.
Why?
I can't cook either.
What do you mean? What do you call that?
I conned my sister into fixing that for us.
Aha!
Uh-huh, what?
That's a big flaw. And you're right, we are in for problems.
Why?
Well, how are we going to continue having these intimate little dinners if neither of us can cook? I mean, we can't keep getting Elena to cook for us.
Oh, no problem.
No?
No, we'll get your brother to cook for us.
Mark? Are you insane? He can't cook.
Another flawed man? Well, I don't plan on spending too much time worrying about what I'm going to have for dinner.
No? What do you plan on spending your time on?
This.
Allison, is that you?
Yeah.
I'm glad you're home, honey. I was worried about you. I didn't know you were going to be out so late.
Oh, neither did I.
Where'd you go?
We all had dinner at the Marshall Ranch.
We?
Yeah, Justin, Ashley, Gregory, and Miss Kate and I all went to the new mansion to look it over.
Oh, is that finished?
No, not yet. But it is going to be beautiful. You should see it, Rena. It's enormous. Even has an indoor-outdoor swimming pool and a movie theater. It's really going to be quite a showplace.
I suppose it will be.
Well, if you'll excuse me, I really got to get up to bed. I'm kind of tired.
I'll see you in the morning, honey.
Okay. Good night, Mr. Wheeler.
Good night, Alice. Does Justin's new house bother you that much?
Yes, it bothers me. It bothers me a whole lot. Wouldn't be building that mansion if he hadn't gotten all those oil leases. We have gotten those leases.
Rena, World Oil is a very stable company. Now, once we get the high-toe power reserves, we'll be as big as all of them.
Just everything takes so much time.
Stay tuned. Texas will be right back.
But I just don't believe that we can march in there and bluff them out about this thing at the import-export place. No? We got to outfox these people, and it's got to be done right. And they're clever, you know, and they know who we are. You just got to be careful.
You got your plan all worked out?
Yep.
Okay, then. Come on, let's hear it.
Okay, now I've come up with something. But I got to tell you up front, it's going to be real dangerous.
This part of Texas was brought to you by Charmin Bathroom Tissue. Charmin is so big and fluffy, so squeezably soft, it's irresistible. Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas, the New Generation.